but I think that if I was going to be in charge of this, I would suggest that first off, that sweeping curve stuff, or fairly sharp, or whatever it is, you need to address that. I think that would be something that you absolutely flat out would want to have better than what you've got.
Okay.
And the reason basically is that I got a pension plan that I need to be funded, fully funded.
Hey, I'm Stephen and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So in today's video, Sandy, the low-key Savage Munro, is going to be destroying Tesla's competition. In this particular case, Ford's pathetic, and hey, I don't want to be too hard, they are trying, but trying is not doing, pathetic attempt at competing with Tesla's autopilot software. Their hands-free Blue's Clues driver assist feature or something along those lines, which Sandy Munro is certainly not in love with. So let's watch as Sandy Munro takes Ford's latest cutting-edge driver assist technology for a spin. If you love crypto, stocks, and free stuff, or just want to help out the channel, check out these great offers. BlockFi are launching the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card. People in the US can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase with no annual fee using the BlockFi Bitcoin rewards credit card. Check out the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can get up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to Webull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $300 just for opening an account. And if you make an initial deposit of $5 or more, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $2,000. Seriously. Free stocks? Yes, please. And finally, if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with Stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for your support, guys. Let's get back to it.
Okay, hi boys and girls. We're standing outside of a Mustang Mach-E. We're going to be doing a Ford Blue Cruise, which is their ADAS system. So let me jump in and let's get going.
So whenever you're comfortable, you can, the one button on the left to activate, and that'll set your speed and activate Blue Cruise for us.
I'm hoping for more speed, but this isn't. Let me just get over here a bit.
Sure.
It seems to be dead slow. Oh, here we go. We'll do that.
All right. So now you're in hands-free mode here, and again, the first time it's activated, it's going to remind you to monitor the environment, and that will fade away, and then you are now back in hands-free zone. So we're driving our new Blue Cruise feature launching on the Mach-E, and this is a feature that allows you to drive with your hands off of the steering wheel in limited access divided highways like this one. We're supporting, as we launch this feature, almost 130,000 miles of hands-free, what we call blue zones in North America.
So hang on, let me get this straight. They're offering this in predetermined zones, so they've effectively thought, okay, well, we can offer it on this part of this road and here, but not here and not here and not here. Now, don't get me wrong here. I mean, I do admire Ford for at least trying to offer some kind of hands-free driver assist technology, but this is kind of a little bit troubling to me. It kind of gives me a little bit of concerns about the potential safety and capabilities of the system. It's almost like a LiDAR-based full self-driving vehicle that's geofenced, and if it goes outside that geofenced area, it's prone to killing people. And again, I'm not trying to be too hard on Ford here, but why would they have to say, well, it can drive on this particular part, but it can't drive here? Just trying to understand why there would be certain segments of certain highways that are like, okay, it's fine to drive here, but definitely can't drive on this particular highway. Seems to hint at very limited capabilities, but hey, it's a start.
And we're really excited to offer this feature to our Mach-E customers as well as F-150. At the moment, there's what we call a driver-facing camera that's on top of the steering column. I'll point to it here. It's actually facing the driver, and it's verifying that the driver has his or her eyes watching the road, and that is what we have in the system to ensure that the driver is monitoring the environment.
You know what? I have to give some credit to the Ford engineers here. I think that there are a bunch of men sitting around the table going, you know what, guys? How can we design this system so that theoretically it'll be possible for the driver with their hands off the wheel to be receiving roadhead, and the system still believe that they're paying attention because they can keep their eyes on the road and the camera you know, can't really see what's actually happening. Let's move on.
And if for whatever reason the driver takes his or her eyes off the road for up to a few seconds, we'll give them a reminder to re-engage and continue to watch the road. But as long as that happens, and as long as you're in a blue zone, you can comfortably drive hands-free as we are right now. So the vehicle has a number of radars that are around the periphery of the vehicle that monitor the objects around it, and we also use a forward-facing camera on the windshield that also uses vision to monitor the objects around the vehicle as well.
When we get there, will it take the off-ramp, or will it just say drive from now on?
Yeah, so when we launch this feature, it's going to continue in this lane until you change lanes manually, take an off-ramp manually. The navigation isn't necessarily integrated into the feature.
I see.
So just wanted to clarify there, it sounds like Blue Cruise, whatever it's called here, is extremely dumb driver assist feature. In other words, the navigation is not at all integrated into this. So if you have a turn and you're not paying attention, you're going to hands-free all the way past your turn, your off-ramp, because this isn't actually even going to disengage for you. It's just going to keep going in a straight line, well, relatively straight line if you're in a blue zone that it can actually drive for you, and it's not going to do anything if there's a turn you're about to miss. Again, I'm not trying to shit on Ford, at least it's something, but very limited capabilities.
So
Okay.
lane changes are manual. You would manually indicate that you want to shift left or right. Hands back on the steering wheel, change lanes. Once you're centered, the vehicle will offer hands-free once again after you change lanes manually.
Okay, so it doesn't force you into the right lane then?
Correct. Yep, we rely on the driver to put the vehicle in whatever lane the driver wants to be in.
Do you do if you're driving fast, it's nice to apex, like if I'm taking like this curve here and I happen to be in the right-hand lane, I would normally, whoops, keep hands on the
Yeah, so
steering
this is a bit of a sharp curve. This one and the next one, it's going to keep you safe. It's going to ask you to put your hands back on the steering wheel, and I'm glad that you noticed that. That's an indication that our immersive cluster with all of its animations is catching your eye. So now that we're through the curve, it's going to offer hands-free back to you.
Wow, that's really awkward. So Sandy Munro there, luckily he was actually paying attention there, saw the screen flashing at him with no warning that he needed to grab the wheel again with this hands-free driver assist system, because somewhat sharp, or I don't know, not completely dead straight curve up ahead. We need to watch this again. This is terrible. Now, look, again, I don't want to shit on Ford, but this is actually really dangerous. Ford, if you're watching this, now, I'm sure you're not. You're busy trying to give Mike Levine some new tweet ideas to shit on Tesla. But this is really dangerous. There needs to be an audio warning. As soon as this system disengages and needs the driver to put their hands back on the wheel, there needs to be an auditory warning as well. Sound, not just visual. What if somebody was slightly distracted for 1 millisecond and didn't see this? The next minute they run into the back of something. This is really dangerous. I mean, seriously.
in the right-hand lane, I would normally, whoops, keep hands on the
So
steering
this is a bit of a sharp curve. This one and the next one, it's going to keep you safe. It's going to ask you to put your hands back on the steering wheel.
I mean, did you guys not see the GPS there showing this a bit of a sharp turn? I mean, that bent less than the average dong does. And how annoying would this be as a consumer? If you're going along in your hands-free mode and every time the road turns more than like 6.9 degrees to the left or the right, you have to make sure you're paying attention and then grab the wheel again and take over. I mean, how many super straight roads can you guys think of that don't have any curves? Oh, by the way, here's a spoiler alert. You know why there's a lot of curves in roads? It isn't actually because they need to be there all the time, but it's to keep the driver alert, because if there's too many long straight sections of road, then the driver's likely to get distracted, fall asleep, and kill themselves. So there's not going to be too many places where you can keep your hands off the wheel with this Blues Cruise system before you need to re-engage and grab again. Now, hopefully they can iron this out and finally start handling some of those really sharp turns as well. But I mean, this is embryonic technology at best at this stage.
And then once it approaches this next one, it'll likely ask you to revert hands-on once again.
Yeah.
And it really only does that for sharp curves, as these two curves are.
Let me get this going again.
Yeah, so it looks like you accidentally bumped the cruise control off button. So if you hit the leftmost button just to reactivate...
Well, I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't have done it on that curve.
Oh, that's probably true.
Oh god, this is painful to watch. So the system, again, disengaged while Sandy was driving. No auditory warning. Sandy sees the screen flashing. grabs the wheel again, thankfully. The guy there that's explaining, so I think you maybe accidentally turned the system off, which that in and of itself, bit of a safety issue there. Imagine that, there's no warning when you turn the system off either. You go on hands-free, get distracted for 2 seconds before the system has time to warn you. By the way, let me ask a question. Just want to ask a question here. If the system's monitoring the driver to see if they're paying attention, and they're not paying attention, and the only way that the system alerts them that they're not paying attention is by flashing the screen, can you guys see where I'm going with this? If they're not looking at the screen that's alerting them that they're not paying attention, yeah, you guys understand where I'm going with this, don't you? But seriously, you need an auditory warning immediately. This is dangerous as shit.
So here we are, back in hands. Now that we're out of that really sharp curve, it'll offer you hands-free again. And it'll handle, you know, reasonable curves. It's only those few places like we have around this area where you have sharp curves where we ask the driver to revert back to the hands on the wheel.
I guess Ford and I have differing definitions of a reasonable curve. Speaking of reasonable curves, there's probably a joke in here about your mum or your sister or your girlfriend, but let's let this one slide.
Okay, so just to interrupt, that's my exit. Is it going to do anything?
No, so you'll need to manually exit here, and now you're in control, fully control the vehicle again now.
Okay, so again, with my Tesla, it'll take me down here and then it'll say take over like about here.
Okay.
So that's a feature that's quite handy, especially if you're not paying attention or talking on a cell phone or your wife is yelling at you. So that's kind of like one feature. It'd be great if you could add.
Okay.
So, while we're at the stoplight here, I will tell you that I do like the Tesla driving experience better, and the reason for that is because I do not have to worry about a sharp or like a narrow sweeping curve or whatnot. I've never had the autopilot or whatever you want to call it. I've never had that turn off. Those are two things that I guess I can say that I'm not 100% happy with.
I've got to commend Sandy for being so politically correct with his feedback. However, if you stay tuned, in a moment we're going to hear what Sandy really thinks.
I will tell you too that it gives me a really when you're going around a curve and whatnot. I don't know if it shows up in the camera, but I put my hands back up because I wasn't quite sure where it was going to be and what was going to happen. So those are two things that I think need to be improved upon. And like I've said, I'm not a good news consultant, but I will tell you that the car drives nice. I like the way it drives, but I think that if I was going to be in charge of this, I would suggest that first off, that sweeping curve stuff or fairly sharp or whatever it is, you need to address that. I think that would be something that you absolutely flat out would want to have better than what you've got.
Okay.
And the reason basically is that I got a pension plan that I need to be funded, fully funded, and I want to see you guys.
That was the most. That was the most savage moment in the history of Sandy Munro on YouTube. No question, bar none. Now, for those of you that missed that, Sandy Munro effectively is suggesting, hey Ford, you basically need to get your shit together and improve this driver assist feature enormously because I have a pension that you guys are meant to pay, and if you go bankrupt because you can't get your shit together and you end up going out of business, then I don't get my pension. This is literally what Sandy Munro is referring to. For those who are unaware, Sandy Munro spent quite a bit of his career as an automotive engineer working for Ford. Gotta watch that again. Absolutely priceless.
You need to address that. I think that would be something that you absolutely flat out would want to have better than what you've got.
Okay.
And the reason basically is that I got a pension plan that I need to be funded, fully funded, and I want to see you guys. So anyway, all in all, it was okay, but I guess I've been a little bit spoiled by watching what Tesla's been doing with the full self-driving beta. That is really impressive, and I'm going to suggest that somehow, if you can, get your hands on it and try it out. It'll help you understand what I was talking about as far as improvements are concerned. So I don't know what else to say.
Poor Sandy, lost for words, trying to be politically correct. Can't really think of anything nice to say, so don't say anything at all. At least that's my perception of the situation. Now, a few weeks later, maybe even a week later, Sandy Munro posted a rant on YouTube. He was a little bit more candid in his thoughts. So Sandy, tell us what you really think.
Let me ask you a question. What are the other car companies out there that have got anything close to the self-driving systems that'll save countless lives? Who else is doing this? If we continuously go after Tesla and slow them down with congressional investigations, with NHTSA crawling up their butts, what happens? What is going to happen? Who is going to pull the United States out of the fire? Is it going to be the other OEMs? Are we going to see General Motors or VW or Mercedes or any of the other car companies? Are we seeing what they've come up with? No, it's crap. It's crap. I've driven almost every self-driving car or even autopilot car, and it's crap. And they can't catch up.
So I think if we read between the lines, Sandy Munro's thoughts on Ford's hands-free, as long as the road doesn't curve to the left or the right whatsoever, driver assist feature, Blues Clues, I don't know what it's called. In 2 words,
it's crap.
Now, everyone's got to start somewhere, but there's just a slight challenge. There's a company out there already, literally billions upon billions of miles ahead of everybody else, who's actually also moving faster than everybody else, and also has the only valid strategy for solving full autonomy. That would be Tesla. Now, it's good that Ford are trying, at least, to get people driving on some straight stretches of highway in predetermined areas. That's better than nothing. But they're never going to catch up to Tesla. And in my opinion, it is a complete and utter waste of resources for Ford to even be attempting to improve their driver assist features or ultimately solve autonomy when in the future they can just license this software from Tesla. I think instead they should be deploying every last resource they have to trying to survive the decade. And by that, I mean immediately and rapidly transitioning all of their production to electric vehicles and really moving full speed ahead. Because otherwise, Sandy, I'm sorry to be so blunt here, but your pension's probably going up in flames as I record this. So, boys and girls, get it? Because, yeah, okay. If you don't get it, I'm not going to bother explaining that one. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Again, I don't really want to be shitting on Ford just for the sake of it, but this is, as I said earlier in the video, truly embryonic technology. Tesla is so much further down the road. Get it? Down the... Oh, man, what is with the bad jokes today? Anyway, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Do you think it's good to see Ford trying to make some progress in this arena? Or should they be channeling all of their resources into transitioning to electric vehicles as soon as possible? And finally, do you think Sandy Munro is actually going to end up getting paid that pension by Ford, or will they be out of the business before he retires? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan, this is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card, where you can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase. There's a link in the description. You can also earn up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, also linked below. And finally, don't forget your free stocks with Webull and Stake, also linked in the description. These great offers also help out the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.